Unit 14. Listening Part 4. 1.
I was watching this really interesting programme the other day about people who'd come over here to work and had originally meant to stay just a couple of years, but then ended up meeting someone and settling down and things. I thought it was quite remarkable, actually, because we give the impression of being rather a nationalistic lot, but that doesn't seem to be the case at all, in fact. They went into people's houses and showed us how they'd been accepted by their in-laws, who were adopting all sorts of new customs and behaviours you wouldn't expect. What struck me most was seeing their mums-in-law being taught how to cook new dishes. It was fascinating. Real eye-opener.
2.
I go to dancing classes every Thursday evening. Anyway, there's a student there, quite a young woman, who has only just recently come to this country, and the other day she was really looking dead tired. So I offered to get her a coffee afterwards and we got talking. Anyway, I found out that she's working here as a nurse to support her family back home. They've stayed behind, you see. Apparently, there are lots of other people in the same situation as her. Her salary here is enough to provide their schooling, their clothing and all sorts of other things back home. But she's doing incredibly long hours. Actually, the worst thing must be being away from your children and family for years on end. I think I'd find that unbearable.
3.
My daughter goes to school with this girl, Mariska. Her family has just arrived here. They sit together in class, they're friends, and we've got to know the parents a bit. Anyway, they've only been here what seems like a couple of months or so, but they've already set up a travel agency for people thinking of visiting their region. They've got all these local contacts, which is a bit of an advantage, I suppose, but they're already doing so well that they've even been able to give jobs to a couple of locals as well. I think that's pretty amazing, don't you?
4.
Don't get me wrong. As far as I'm concerned, immigration is fine. In fact, I think it's really necessary, considering the skills shortage we've got here. But it does mean that we've ended up with quite a cultural mix in our office, and sometimes it's quite hard for people to get their ideas across and, sort of marry up their different approaches to work. I'm continually surprised by the sheer variety of different takes on a situation and the different expectations people have. Personally, I think this sort of intercultural mix is one of the biggest challenges at work today.
5.
When I started, everyone was born here and spoke the same language. Now it's a real melting pot, and that gives rise to no end of problems, not least with the parents. But you have to be flexible and turn these things to your advantage. And having kids of 5 or 10 different ethnic backgrounds learning together is a culturally enriching experience for everyone, including me. Many of the children who have come from abroad are so hard-working that it's actually pressuring our local kids to put in more of an effort too. They're getting better results now, which is just the opposite of what I'd have expected and quite a challenge to my preconceptions.